Let's go to Connor in Baltimore. Hey, Connor, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. How's it going?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
So basically, I just graduated 2 years ago. I lived at home throughout that whole time, did the commute thing, saved as much money as I could. So just a few months ago, some things went on at home, and I basically had no decision but to leave. And I've always wanted to buy because, I've obviously know that renting is kind of a waste for some reasons. And I had really no choice. So I have a rent payment now. I have a little bit of debt. But I'm in a salary position and a good career ladder, and I guess I'm just kind of wondering overall how I can posture myself to put myself in the best position moving forward.
Cool. What do you do for a living?
So I work for the federal government, and I make $63,000 a year.
Good for you. Okay, cool. What was your degree in?
Business technology,
Okay,
so like data and analytics and stuff like that.
good for you. So you're what, 22, 23?
24. Yep.
24. Okay. All
That's
right.
awesome.
Cool.
How much debt do you have?
So I have about $3,000 in credit card debt, and that's just because I had to move out like very abruptly. So I needed to furnish stuff and just like that. So I just got like a bed and a couch and stuff like that, and just put it all on a credit card.
Okay.
So right now your question is if you should buy right now or stop renting?
So basically, with the way the rent market has been, I'm spending way more than I should be on rent because I really didn't have an option. But I'm here for a year, so then I guess I'm just wondering. I also have like a car payment, and I probably bought more car than I should have a year or two ago, just because I didn't anticipate on having to pay rent so soon. So I'm wondering how much of my money I should be putting in to just kill all that debt off with the car and everything.
How much do you owe in your car?
So I pay $400 a month, and I have 3 years left on it. It's a Toyota Camry.
What's the balance on it today?
I think 17,000 last I checked.
Okay. Big car payment.
So I have around 20,000 in debt total.
Okay. All right. Well, there's a couple things. We can certainly show you a system to walk A, out of this debt, and then B, into a position you have an emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses. That's baby steps 1, 2, and 3. And then start saving to buy a home at that point. Yes, you do want to buy a home at some point, but you don't want to buy them in the headspace that you're in right now. Okay?
Right.
And if you're going to ever win with money, there's a phrase that you have said 3 times in our conversation that you have to stop believing and you have to stop saying it. I didn't have a choice. Dude, you always have a choice. Okay? You needed to leave home. I get that. But then you went and bought a bunch of crap on a credit card. You could have gone down to a garage sale somewhere and picked up a used couch for $50. But you didn't.
Right.
But you didn't. Okay? So you always have a choice. You could have bought a car that you could pay cash for, but you didn't. You always have a choice. Now, so you're no longer a victim of the marketplace or of your circumstances. You are the captain of your own ship, and it's your destiny marked on the side of that ship, and you're in charge of steering your destiny. Things are not going to happen to you anymore. You're going to happen to things. You got to reset that narrative, because otherwise you're going to do stupid butt crap the rest of your life and blame it on I was forced to.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Makes sense.
So now we get that out of the way. Now it's real easy to do the tactical stuff that you need to do because you're obviously a sharp young guy. You've obviously got a lot on the ball. You're making really good money at 24 years old. You know, you've got a little bit of car payment. You got a little bit of credit cards. We'll cut up the credit cards. We're going to get you on a budget. We're going to chop up, get rid of that credit card debt first, and we'll knock out the car payment, and then you can save for a down payment.
Yes, definitely.
That sounds great. I had one other question too, if you don't mind.
Sure.
So I'm not really super into like all of like the interest rates and stuff like that, and like what the climate makes for a good time to buy a home. But the reason I didn't really buy one was because I've just heard everyone saying, you see it in the news, it's a terrible time to buy, terrible time to buy. How do you know when it is a good time?
It's actually a great time to buy. So, because house prices are going to do nothing but go up for the next 5 years. But you've got
Right.
some of these
Oh, okay.
characters on the news trying to get someone elected or someone unelected, and they have an agenda, and they're trying to use the economy as a lever point on that. The interest rates are up. The market has slowed down. It is a better time to buy now than it was last year at this time because it was so white hot. You'd been bidding against 27 people. And but let me tell you when a bad time to buy is when you're broke and not ready, which is right now.
Right.
Okay. You got car payments and credit cards and, you hadn't got a plan and you feel discombobulated. When you buy a house in that environment, you're about to get screwed over.
Yeah, Connor, I would say I would worry less about what the market's doing right now because, you're not ready. I think you've got to work through a lot of this stuff yourself. Of course, we have the baby steps, like Dave said. Get your own financial house in order and also work through some of the stuff that you went through with your family. That sounds like it was pretty rough, and that you have a lot of healing to do from that. If you hang on the line, we're going to get you a copy of Own Your Past, Change Your Future by Dr. John Deloney, who's on the show. And I would really encourage you to go through that and take a little bit of time because I feel like right now I can hear the anxiety in your voice and I can hear this kind of franticness. And I think it's easy to point to, maybe it's because I need a house or maybe it's because I'm not doing this in life and I got to hurry up and I got to catch up. And it's like, I think that's channeled the wrong direction right now. I think you're focusing on things that aren't going to make you feel better in the long run. What's going to make you feel better is dealing with your past and finding a spot of peace and then dealing with your finances the correct way, paying off all your debt, saving a 3 to 6 month emergency fund, investing for retirement and buying a house. Do it all in the right order. But right now, I think you got to just take some time to breathe and kind of reset.
That's wisdom, Christina. That's really, really wise. Because here's the thing. It's obvious from the story. We didn't dig into it. But that this was an emotionally violent separation for you. The way you described it, 2 or 3 different sentences in talking about it. So, we all heard that, and we hear that in your voice too. And you make much better decisions from a point of strength and a point of peace rather than a wounded animal. And I've been both in my life at times, and I wounded animals don't make good decisions. And so the healing she's talking about is really, really important. And it'll put you on this steady rhythm of wisdom and even how you go back and deal with mom and dad later. And you're doing that from a position of strength rather than just barking and snapping and snarling. And that can happen there really easy. So hang on, we'll send you a copy of John's book. And also I will throw in a copy of Total Money Makeover, which will show you exactly what to do with your money and get things stabilized and walk you through the baby steps.